Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be discussing The Mask, and this is the novelisation of the movie. This was written by an individual called Steve Perry. Now, I had to look about what Steve has actually written, and he has written other novels. He's actually written the novelisation of the Men in Black movie. I found this a while ago in a comic book shop up in London, which I should do a vlog on at some point. It's really small. But I saw this on the shelf and I was thinking, there's a novelisation of The Mask. So I had to get it. It wasn't that expensive, so I picked it up and it's really short. And I thought, okay, I love the movie. I thought I would give this a try. So, as always, this is just going to be a spoiler-free video. I am not going to spoil anything about the movie or the book, although they are both really similar, but I'll go for that in a minute. And obviously, this is just going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding both the movie and the book. So you may be asking yourself, well, David, is there any difference between the movie and the book? Yes, there is. Although this follows the movie exactly, it does have some other scenes within it. For example, it opens up with these Vikings that are in their sailboat and they've got this massive box that is all wrapped in chains and they're going out to get rid of this box. They don't say what's in it, they don't discuss it. They are just on this voyage trying to get rid of it. And that was a really nice way of opening the book, because in the movie, it opens up, or one of the scenes where you see the mask is in a box at the bottom of the ocean, but we don't know how it got there. So if you ever wondered how it got there, now you know how it got there. So if you've seen the movie, you may be thinking, well, how can a book capture the essence of Jim Carrey and what he brought to that role and his style of acting? Because I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. He's really out there, and his acting and his sense of humor and how he acts on the big screen isn't for everyone. And sadly, in this book, it doesn't capture the magic that was Jim Carrey, or that is Jim Carrey as the Mask. When you're reading this and when you're reading Stanley's parts, which Jim Carrey actually played, you can tell, okay, that is Stanley, that is the character that Jim Carrey played, but it's really hard to describe. He's not as quirky or as outrageous as Jim was in the movie. I know that Jim Carrey made up a lot of stuff on the spot for probably this movie and some of his other ones as well. So that obviously isn't actually in this book. But with that said, the Stanley in the novel is a lovable dork. He really is. Just know that what Jim Carrey brought to the role in the movie isn't translated in the book. They are both similar characters, but they're both different, if that made any sense. So this book is set in a fictional location called Edge City. It's very polluted, the crime rate is really high, and it's not a generally nice place to live, but people do live there and then people try to get on living there. And it opens up with a beach scene where all these people are swimming in this polluted water. They all know that it's polluted, it looks polluted, and they are fully aware that this water isn't clean. But they know that they are safe as long as they don't swallow and drink it. So we are introduced to our main character called Stanley Ipkiss, who, as I said, he is a nerd, he is a dork, he is a hopeless romantic, and he is working at a bank where he comes across this beautiful individual called Tina, and he becomes infatuated by her, and he finds out that she's a singer slash dancer at the hottest and most popular nightclub in town, the Coco Bongo Club. Stanley, as he is in the movie, is stepped on all the time. People take advantage of him because he's such a nice guy. And obviously he finds the mask, mistaking it to be a body floating in the river. And when he puts on the mask, he becomes this cartoonish version of himself. His face turns green, his clothes change at will. He can make stuff happen spontaneously whenever he wants, whatever it is, no matter how outrageous it is. He basically turns into a cartoon. It's funny that in the book and movie, it describes the mask as being a superhero. I wouldn't classify the mask as a superhero, but I can see why he's classified under that. So as the mask, Stanley fulfills all of his inner needs and desires. He wins Tina's affections over. He gets all this money from stealing it from the bank that he works at. There was a nice scene in this where, if you've seen the movie, you know that when Stanley first puts on the mask, he is confronted by these three individuals that are in the street, these gang members, and they ask him for the time. But in the book, they are fleshed out more. Before Stanley even puts on the mask, he is robbed and his watch is taken. And when he goes out wearing the mask, they obviously ask him if he's got the time. And then, yeah, that's where it picks up. He basically has fun with them. And in this book, there is an individual called Dorian, who is our main villain. He is Tina's boyfriend, and he's the boss of the Coco Bongo Club. And originally, Dorian and his associates were planning to rob the same bank that Stanley decided to rob as his alter ego on the same night at the very same time. And this resulted in Dorian's associates being accused of this crime, and one of them being shot and being killed. And we discover that there is this top criminal boss of Edge City that's above Dorian, and Dorian's trying to overthrow him and take over the city. And this doesn't go well for Dorian. It goes exactly how it does in the movie. And ultimately Dorian finds out about the mask and its powers, and he puts it on, and he becomes not this cartoonish figure, but he becomes this horrible, villainous villain that wants to take advantage of his newfound powers and abilities by killing the top mob boss, destroying the Coco Bongo Club, and quite funnily enough, killing Tina. Not sure why he wants to kill Tina, but yeah, he does. So Stanley has to stand up for what he believes in, and he must rescue Tina, even though he perfectly knows that this girl is completely out of his league. I wouldn't say that he loves Tina, but he has a infatuation with her. He is attractively drawn towards Tina, and he feels a strong compulsion to protect her. And of course, I forgot to actually mention that Stanley, in the book and in the movie, there is a dog which he owns. And yes, the dog puts on the mask at the end. And yeah, it's just a really charming book. It really is. Yes, it does have different scenes that are in the book and in the movie. They are slightly different, but very similar. When Stanley is wearing the mask, he consciously knows that, okay, I've got all these powers, I can feel stronger, I feel more confident. And then when he wakes up as himself, he thinks that, okay, it was just a dream that I had. It was fun while it lasted, but it was just a dream. So it's not really a Jekyll and Hyde type of story. It's never really explained about where the mask came from or how it got embodied with powers. Yes, there is that scene that was in the movie that Stanley went to this psychologist that wrote the book about people wearing masks, and how the name of Loki was brought up. And very briefly, the Greek gods are mentioned, like Thor, Odin, and obviously Loki, as I've just mentioned, are brought up, but very, very briefly. And what Stanley does as the Mask, all of his cartoonish actions that he does while wearing this mask, are really similar to the movie, but in the book, they obviously do play out slightly different. There is a scene where I think it's the second time that he's wearing the mask, and he throws it out the window, or it falls out the window for some reason, and he jumps over the balcony or out the window. And as he's falling down, he's thinking, "Oh crap, I'm gonna die!" But he's trying to like reach this mask and put it on because he knows that if he puts it on, he's gonna live. So yeah, that's the book and the differences between the book and the movie. It was a really fun book. So if you've seen the movie and you really like it, I mean, I would definitely recommend that you read this. So yeah, guys, that was all I had to say. This was more of a discussion video than a full-blown review, but hopefully you found some enjoyment out of this. Let me know if you have seen the movie. What did you think about it? What do you think about Jim Carrey as an actor and his acting abilities? I know that he isn't for everyone, but take what he brought to the role of Dr. Eggman or Robotnik from the Sonic movies. It makes me laugh that everyone was like trashing on the movies, thinking, "Oh, it's gonna suck." But let's actually be honest, guys. Jim Carrey made the Sonic movies. Also, let me know if you are interested in reading the book, and also, have you read this book? Were you aware that this book even existed? It's amazing about how there are all these movies out there that have got a novelization based on them. And this came out about 1 month before the movie. So this isn't a case of a book that was originally out there and that was found and that was made into a movie. I'm pretty sure that this was published purely to sell more copies because people watched the movie and they wanted to read the book. So with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.